But at the end of the day, Icarus, if given the thing with Icarus is that if you give it, what is it?
An inch,
An inch will take a mile. Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh,
So,
sorry, no, wait, Canadian. So centimeter, kilometer.
yeah, I guess. So it's definitely one of those decks where if Marquis finds the opening, he can definitely take advantage of it and can definitely put Jordan himself into a tough position. So I could see it go either way. It's really about, I think the early turns are going to dictate it.
Yeah, and I think so. Marquis is running the kind of the small slug package, and it's really good for preventing hand draw. It doesn't work on the leader for Cell, I believe, and so you still get the card draw and everything else. But it does prevent, the draw apes. It does prevent like this guy as well once he gets it out. And Cell doesn't really have a lot of good ways to get rid of that. We do get the Demigra in the sideboard that will probably side in to help pop it, but other than that, it's pretty tough.
Yep. Otherwise, you're kind of being forced to go into combat with it. And actually, this is a really good incentive to force Jordan to be able to go into combat, and then Marquis might actually be able to get his 0.5 turn here to be able to actually get the timings that he wants.
For sure.
Pan here, not probably the SCR that's going to see the most amount of work here. I mean, at best, might be a free 40k beat stick, which is fine. I mean, that's perfectly serviceable, but not the matchup that he's going to get the most of value out of it.
For sure, and we saw it in Jordan Markle's hand pretty often last match, and I don't think it did anything.
So sitting at a cool 7 for Jordan as well as Marquis. We're at parity at the moment.
And hits the
Turtles.
All right.
One of the hallmark cards from Saiyan Showdown. One of the most powerful yellow SRs to come from the set. That one and the Goku definitely highlighting the most powerful things that Saiyan Showdown has given us in terms of support for other decks.
For sure. And you see that there's at least one super combo you could have hit too. That would have been a really good hit for that too. And playing a second slug, very interesting.
Yeah, just getting the cycle. Just getting as many cards on board to make, the selective popping maybe a little bit less annoying. Trying to find as much card draw as he can.
Yeah. And so something else with that slug, it does have the effect, but I believe it's on a Bond 2 trigger as well. So if he isn't able to get other cards on board, it's going to be really tough to have that consistently prevent the card draw.
One boon that Icarus has is that they can just get rid of the higher dragon, get it back afterwards.
Yeah.
So it kind of has that recursion that mitigates some of the hand destruction that Markle is going to be throwing over to Marquis.
For sure.
Both players sitting at a comfortable 7 life, and I mean that's to be expected, right? Like Icarus doesn't play extremely quickly. It plays bomb threats starting from like turn 3 onwards, and Cell Surge tries to go for the God plays going into turn 4.
So doing the rebrand bounce 2 to lead drop. So higher dragon I think is pretty easy because you get those back, and then a Bergamo, which is a 1 of card now, so there's no more Bergamo this match. So Jordan doesn't have to worry about it.
Yep, pretty impactful. It's gonna be tough to find a timing. Wow.
The super combo charge too.
I mean, deciding that he liked the rest of his hand more. We see there it is. The free cycle could represent a threat moving forward.
Yeah, and he does have the Frieza in hand, but he only has 1 extra card that's in the energy, so it will cost 2 until he finds another one in the field energy or drop area.
Yeah, I think Bergamo might be one of those situations. It's going to be tough to find a timing in where he can rest something, but if he can find that timing, the rest 2 is one of those things where like Cell is extremely energy efficient.
Yeah.
And if you take away that option going into trying to go for lethal, I think it could be a very powerful position.
Correct. All right, using the leader event. Oh man, another rebrand. That is very nice. I'm surprised that Marquis is not going into those big boy slugs though. I mean, I guess there's no threat for Jordan to draw cards anyways, but I'm a little bit surprised he didn't want to put a little pressure with those 20Ks.
Are they in hand?
Oh, do they have to be in hand?
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably why. Okay, sorry. I thought he played from deck.
Nope.
Definitely. All right.
So we'll just have to find him. Maybe that's why he's cycling so much.
Yeah, I think that's better then. And Sun Gohan's definitely one of the better leaders for that cycle. A lot of card draw on the front, a 2 draw on Awaken, and then a lot of cycle additionally. Pretty much like 1.5 draws every turn.
Yep.
And dropping the draw ape.
Should probably find usage for those as early as he can before the slug might start locking things down for him.
Yep, I agree. And now, so here's the thing: you can do 3 for Broly, which it looks
There's
like
the Broly.
play.
And I do believe he has another Deborah in hand, so he
Mhm.
will be able to rip out an additional 2 cards.
And this card can be a huge menace, especially if it survives with 4 markers. You pretty much get it for the rest.
Yeah, I don't.
Yes.
It's the 20k. 20k is so tough. Plus 2 on a 20k body. Dark Broly is incredibly difficult to get off the board.
Yeah, for sure. And then even if you try to get rid of markers with non-traditional causes, you still have that auto that gets that additional discard too.
Yep. For anyone who joined when Jordan was playing against Jared in the last game, Jared definitely had a deck that allowed him to be able to get rid of the Dark Broly decently efficiently. But we promise you that Dark Broly is such a threat and hard to get rid of.
Yeah. So using the effect to pop a Basil and a Mecha Face in hand, Basil can definitely be a lot of swings late game, but I don't think Mark was going to tap down to 5 until he really needs to.
Yeah, no, I think at this point it's really just the cycle, and just try and see as many cards as possible.
I didn't even swing with leader or the Broly either.
Yeah.
He's got 5 present hand, 2 Paragus super combos, which aren't online until he takes 2 more damage. But that's the kind of the thing with Dark Broly, is that he is a really powerful play. But the fact that now he has a big target to swing into to not give Jordan that life to get down to 4.
Yep. Here using Power of Super Saiyan just to cycle 1 card, just to draw into another one.
Yep. And so I think Jordan's in a good spot right now. He does have 4 energy. He does also have the cell in hand, so if he does want to go down to 4 himself, he can.
Yep.
Charging another Broly, because at 6 markers, it's probably set 4 game. Yeah, I see like a lot of back and forth as if this Dark Broly is a good card or not. Like, but it feels so great right now. Right now you've got to this point, it's just doing so much.
Yeah, like it applies pressure, and it almost has a like Majin Buu-ish effect where like the gameplay on the board kind of gravitates around it now, because it's just like you're just facing a big beefy 20k double strike every single turn. That's like dealing with your board, ripping cards out of your hand.
Yeah.
And enables the Deborah, which is an additional card out of hand.
For sure, for sure. He had a real good top 5. There was a Goku Ape, there was a Rebrian, there was a Double Strike, there was a Cell Xeno as well. He could pick any of those cards, and they would have been super useful right now too. So I think he's thinking which card is the discard. The Cell is usually the better one, just because it gets the drop area for free now instead of having to pay 1 to combo with it. Using the effect to draw 2.
Yeah. And we are at turn 4, and now Cell is live.
Very live. Not a lot of cards in Marquis' hand, but something that is going to hurt Jordan Markle a little bit is that Gohan is a draw 2 leader, which not really often common anymore, right? They're the first type of leader we had for a long time, but there we go.
It's kind of funny how depending on the format, and there goes Shrouded Fu. Probably not getting to turn 6.
That's right.
But it is funny how the pendulum swings, where for a long time Untapped 2 became the top of the cream of the crop, and then now it's very much depending on the format. Turns out draw 2s are actually pretty sweet.
And that's what I think is really, really cool. And also just the sequencing from Jordan's really great on this, because he did the Overwhelm and then he put his Rebrand in there, right? He's been holding onto that Rebrand for 2 turns, and now he can really just use it and get the effects off. So a lot of cards being discarded, and it's looking pretty good, because he gets to get the free pitch from Rebrand from the Broly effect. Now he gets 2 more discards, leaving it looks like a legendary Super Saiyan, Cooler. Oh, the Pan.
Yeah, there goes the Pan. You're not going to see much use out of it, and it might actually just end up costing too much energy based on how few battle cards are actually going to be on board.
Yeah. And I think, with that other Rebrand in hand, you can definitely make him go to 0. But once again, you get that draw 2 and can go from there. With no cards on board except for that slug, everything's going to be played in rest mode if you choose that effect, and it looks really good for Jordan.
Yep. Marquis here pitching the counter. Fair enough. 3 energy.
What did he put underneath?
I put a Ribrian, and I have to presume a Dry Ape.
Yeah.
Drawing 2, untapping 2, and probably having the ability here to rip every single card out of Marquis' hands if he really wanted it.
Yeah, and so if he wants to, he can. Cell Surge does have the 2 effects. He can either be a little bit defensive and say, I'll finish you off next turn, or you can make sure to pop that 1 slug on board, the one card in hand, and then get that rebrand into the drop to make an entire discard.
Yeah, I think he's in a position where that's probably the better play.
Yeah.
I don't think time walking your opponent, like Icarus isn't the type of deck that's going to be like ripping out like 5 battle cards going into their turn 4. So there's a double strike he's been holding on since I believe turn 1. So realistically, I think Jordan's feeling pretty safe.
Oh, there's a Rosie in hand too.
Yep.
Oh, that is very strong.
So what's the sequence here? How do you swing and rip? Like you swing with leader, put him down the 4, then you Rosie, get rid of the cards in hand, then swing.
It's going to be really tough. I think you want a Rosie for sure because obviously those 2 cards have survived in hand this entire time, right? So those are the most important 2 cards. Obviously, there's some RNG with the life, but it looks like he's just doing the rebrand to discard the 2. And I don't know, like you want to put pressure on the Gohan. It's obviously way more advantage for you to awaken on your own Turnus and Gohan as well. So
I mean, he's gonna self-awaken by himself if he wants. Ooh, BMS definitely
that's so
great tech.
good. That's so good. If he's trying to play those Sun Gohan Fire Dragons, that is really nice.
So Marquis is gonna be able to get himself to 4. Was there value in maybe like swinging with Dark Broly just to get him to 3 instead?
Well, maybe, but now he doesn't charge because one, the card he drew couldn't be charged, or I think it was a poutine. So
Right.
that's
yeah.
really good. You do not want that poutine there, and it feels really good. Plus, I don't think you can even play the poutine for free anymore because you got that Black Mass Saiyan. You can.
You could. It'll cost cards.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with Black Mass Saiyan, but.
We're not here to.
He did it.
No,
He did it.
I don't. Oh.
No, he thought about it.
Yeah,
He thought about it. I will draw 1 to discard 2.
The perfect cycle.
Yeah. But that Trunks is a strong card. So I think, obviously if Jordan did do the effect to do that, so to make everything come to rest, it wouldn't have made a difference. But now the sequence is right. Yeah.
He's tapped out.
For sure. And maybe he has an overwhelm for it. He does actually have an overwhelm if there's a Mass Saiyan. So if he can do enough damage here, he could get it. But
Jordan is at 3 life, so
yeah. $20K dual attack, pretty scary. You do not have to be as worried about a double strike coming out of it though.
All right, going down to 2. Going down to 1.
Really not scared.
Wow.
Of down to 1.
Either that or his hand is not very comboable.
Yeah. There's at least 2 characters.
There are 3 super combos. Oh, he's chilling. He just wants the cards.
Triplets are here.
Yeah, he just wants the card.
It's gonna be a lot of angry Brolys.
This is tough. And Marquis is tapped out. I think.
Yeah, this is
I think Jordan closes this out.
Yeah, and the thing is that you didn't combo with the 1-drop Fire Dragon either, which really stinks because you can just use the cell effect to pop it immediately. That's not only combo, but prevents your Marquis from doing an extra card draw with the combo if he doesn't have another monster in his hand. And Higher Dragon is a yellow leader, so you cannot have a hatch in hand to just prevent a turn. You have to play around this.
Yes, sir. All right, and there goes the dragon.
Yeah, and pitching a
Final flash.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dead card in hand. Makes sense.
definitely.
So. Get
I
him to
will say
go.
he has a lot of combo power, but he doesn't have
Doesn't have a threat.
he doesn't have a threat.
I mean, doesn't he still have Rosie in
he
hand?
does have Rosie in
He
hand,
does have
yeah,
Rosie,
that
right?
Rosie.
So you Rosie. Then what? Double strike swing? No, probably the 2 single swings.
Yeah. Rosie.
Yep. Rip 2 cards out of hand. I mean, here Marquis just having to keep 5Ks. Yeah, get rid of the poutine. No real way to be able to play it. Rip a card.
And the random.
Yeah, there goes the slug. There's the 5K. Marquis with 1 card in hand. Jordan sitting with 3 super combos in hand. And a triple attacker going to face.
Yeah, and he also does have the Cell's Xeno in hand, which he does have 5 energy. You can put that release to the drop here and get a 30K body on board for free.
Yep. But here, like, Marquis just not having any negates live. You swing with the double strike, and then you swing with
just
the Dark
double strike
Broly.
go in.
You just combo for 1 million, and effectively call that game one.
Yeah. Yeah, and your Broly has unisons are usually pretty safe, especially since the double strike is on the unison itself. Even if you lose markers, unless it's 8 markers, you're in a really good spot.
So this one going to 15, and I think, Marquis knowing that he lost, but maybe, just watching this out, maybe trying to catch some more info on what Markle's on, but deciding, nope, we're just going to call here, we're going to go to game 2.
For sure, and I think Jordan played that very well. Obviously, I think both these lists were ones that people thought were going to be at the tables, and honestly, they weren't super well represented, but they are still here in this top 4.
Yep, absolutely, and that's just... that's the biggest thing. Definitely made its representation known. Not maybe Seltzer's not in the numbers that we're expecting, but here Jordan Markle definitely piloting it to a point where this deck is. There's a reason that this deck is the boogeyman of the format.
For sure, and it really is. You play it for yourself, and then if your opponent has an interaction, maybe. But
yeah,
if you know your lines, you can play by yourself, easy.
Right, pretty much. So we obviously know that Marquis here is going to add in card draw. He's going to take out anything that tries to interact with board.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of negates.
What does Jordan bring in for this matchup?
If he's afraid of that slug, he definitely put in that Demigra. But it's going to be interesting what he. I'm not really sure. I did see the sideboard and it has like some standard stuff, but I'm not really sure what he really needs to adjust. It felt pretty strong in a lot of it.
Yeah, I think power of Super Saiyan. I mean, you get a cantrip, so maybe he could. But
that's fine. And you can rest the the unison too. That can be good. Looks like he's really thinking about those Vegetas in there and some Asus.
All right, looks like Zamasu's made the cut, going into the deck
with some Deborah.
With some Deborahs. Yep, like we were saying earlier today, players sitting at the entrance of the reception hall, handing out play sets, making sure that everyone's well protected going into their tournament
in
runs.
their hand.
An hour and 15 minutes on the clock.
Yep.
Lots of time to play out the game, and that's one of the benefits of Self-Surge. You really don't have to worry all that much about time. Your game goes to turn 4, turn 5, and
you're fine.
Anything beyond that's going one way or another.
And that's what I really like about Self-Surge, just the consistency in that. And sometimes you do have matchups that are very difficult, but normally if a matchup's good for you, it's good for you.
Right. How much is the advantage for going first as far as Self-Surge is concerned?
I think having the extra energy is really good, and you don't get punished for not being able to swing turn 1.
Right.
It gets the benefit of it. And those are some of my favorite leaders, like the Universe 7 Frieza leader, the one that has the active main to do the discard 1, draw 2. That's really good. I know like the Red Beerus leader was a favorite of mine. Any deck that can gain advantage, and like some Wish leaders too, like the original Dragon Balls leader, being able to tap and essentially draw 2 cards, it's so good.
Yeah, the least you interact with your opponent, the least you give them windows to be able to do what they want to do. And that's really where Self-Surge shines.
Yeah.
And like you said, because it's just really good at playing with itself.
Yeah, exactly. And like, once again, turn 2, you have Rebrian, which is a good play. Turn 3, you've got Dark Broly, which is a really good play. Like, you are not afraid of tapping out. And if you need to have the emergency to make everything in rest, you totally can.
Yeah.
And I think something I like about Jordan is that I don't do. I get afraid. Like, oh man, I can get cheesed out. I want to use the rest everything effect because I'm afraid. He's just like, nah, pop one. These are this is essentially drawing me 4 cards over 2 turns.
It's a pretty confident play when you have 3 super combos.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true. Man, can you imagine if Self-Surge had Dorn potential? Like, oh my gosh.
Thankfully, that is a mono green card.
That is correctly made as a mono green card.
All right, we're getting into mulligans here, fixing the hands. As far as Marquis goes, you keep the higher dragon, scale your cycles, or not. I guess he wants to see other stuff. Oh, I guess the higher dragon only really only get the cycle starting on the awakened side. Is that it?
Yeah, and I don't think Jordan's gonna let that happen before turn 4.
Right.
That's the thing too. So if you go first to Sun Gohan, you lose 1 turn of being able to awaken too, because you don't get that self-awakening.
Yeah, because Cell's not gonna be swinging.
Did you see any self-awakening being added to Marquis's list?
Not that I saw. I saw the Deborahs. It looked like he brought in I think there were Whis.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe just to cantrip some more. but I don't think I actually saw anything that was going to help him have a bit more of an early burst.
I'm a big fan of I think it's from one of the new expert deck, the Mass Sand one, where it's the black Mass Sand that you tap one, or it's Spirit Boost to get the, restand it, and then also it takes the life to get the 15k for the turn. I think that's really, really good for self-awakening and putting pressure on too.
Yeah. Because, like, the bigger your hand is early on, the more you have, like, obviously, if, Cell Surge is able to rip your entire hand, it doesn't really matter. But if you can put yourself in a position where you can selectively drop.
He's got that Chilai super
Yeah,
combo.
that he does.
Love to see it.
So if Marquis can put in a position where he can selectively discard, it puts him in a better position to be able to line up his following turns.
Yeah, and so that's like the thing too, because Jordan was smallly chipping away, and he had the same key cards stay in his hand the entire time until he's like, okay, he's got 2 cards left. I know he's been holding on to those forever. I'll tap out and get rid of him. I think the crazy thing about Jordan Marco's list too is that it's pretty much been the same list for almost a year.
Yeah, good cards are good.
And very, very, very good. I think what the newest cards are, that Rosie is pretty new. I know the Majin Buu is an option for it. Running some Overwhelm with that Toe is really interesting in the list too.
That allows you to extend a little bit in your hand construction. And, Cell does, one of the things it does lack is in like proactive board presence. So any little advantage you can get, because sometimes your opponent is like in a weird situation where like they're at 2 life, but it's actually sometimes tough for Cell to actually deal with 2 life.
Yeah.
So anything to be able to extend on that front helps.
Yeah, he does have the 3-drop slug in hand now, so he can do that. He will just use that to get the freed card draw, which I think is good. I think it's fine.
That's fine. It's not going to see usage. Like at the end of the day, if he doesn't have that much main board that really allows him to be able to excel in this matchup, then being able to cycle as much as possible is definitely going to be a big boon.
That is really nice. I mean, yeah, that's just part of the reason that this card's so good. It's offensive art of defensive.
Yeah, and when Jordan snipes the super combo.
Oh, he gets it. I think he only runs that at 1. I've seen at least 2 Krillin super combos.
Did see 2 Krillins, yeah. All right, pitching away the slug. Going off to play.
And looks like he's moving around the Devoras. Are they all in life? Okay.
Yeah, and there's. All right, so here we got him off. We got the slug on board. And then it's a pass. Going into Jordan's turn 2. So the energy advantage here definitely helping out. Marquis being able to get to the turn 4 before Jordan can get to his turn 4 means that he might be able to mount a certain amount of pressure presence before Jordan can get the gear started.
So we do have so this is the top 5. So the rebrand can easily be played right now. Take some immediate value. And yeah, doing the rebrand. I think it's fine. I think it's still you're not worried about that kind of stuff. Yeah. And that Poutine, I don't think is going to be doing anything. And I think next turn he definitely wants to do that, Deborah.
Yep, I think some of the cards that are in the deck, like I don't see Poutine having much use. He's not gonna be able to rest a bunch of things, but like maybe just hey, it's a 5k combo, and it's better than anything else I have on my sideboard to be able to mitigate for this matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think that Goku's doing much either. Swing in with leader. Drawing 2 every turn does feel pretty good, though. That does help you out.
Yeah, it makes a difference. But this is one of those positions where Icarus being such a reactionary deck definitely hurts it.
Interesting. So he's just using that to cycle more. And once again, like Jordan's not drawing a lot of cards, so I can understand that. But it is an interesting line.
All right, and the second slug makes its appearance, gets a cantrip,
And get the one of Bergamo.
pretty good. I mean, again, the hardest part is just finding a time when you're going to be able to get the auto to proc to then actually be able to use it. But
And wait, where'd the slug go?
the one drop that was on board went to hand.
Yeah. I was about to say, like,
I thought it was weird. I'm like, I guess it got comboed away.
yeah.
Another one.
Another one. I think he's desperately trying to find.
He's trying to look for something. He's trying to find something, right? I think at this point, anything that cantrips is he out?
Did he just pay one to discard one?
Yeah, the other must be in life. Oh, there it is. All right,
all right, good. All right. What's he get? Basil, which means one more, baby.
Another card.
Yeah, roll thrice. I mean, it's great thinning though, because not only do you get the card draw, but you also get the one more card at deck too.
That's true.
Looks like he passes.
I don't know if there was value in keeping up the one.
Yeah, I think maybe playing the Basil would have been fine, but this is also kind of the start of the turns where, Markle can be a little bit proactive with Dark Broly and stuff, and there's a chance that these cards can just be popped.
Yeah, and at the same time, there's something to be said about if you're digging for a card, if you can use it on the turn that you get it, great, but maybe it's worth it staying in deck so that he doesn't lose it to the drop.
For sure.
Because, turn 3, turn 4 is definitely when Jordan's going to be able to start ripping out 3, 4, 5 cards.
For sure. So it's just deciding what he wants to pitch. He did add the Cell Xeno, so that could be a pitch into drop area. Get to 4 life, so you can, use your surge ability. You can always awaken whenever you want with surge leaders, but your flip side things aren't always online. So it's choosing the rebrand, though, so probably not wanting to awaken this turn. So you can get those Xenos into the drop area with a lot of other ways, including the Dark Broly, which we do see in hand as well. A lot of value.
Matt, considering the play, Dark Broly up in front, and looks like he's lining up for that play. I don't really think there's a punish here for it.
Nope.
Because if Marquis commits too many cards to trying to deal with it, well, then he's just helping in the whole hand destruction thing that Jordan's doing anyways.
Yep, so it does have the Deborah, so that's a free discard. And then he's able to pitch one and pop not only a slug, but another card in hand, with Marquis only down to 5 cards in hand right now.
All right, I imagine here at some point we'll see a plus. Most likely pitch the ball.
Yeah, or the Cell Xeno.
Or the Cell Xeno, like you're saying, just to be able to set up the D4 life. Interesting, I thought maybe he would have kept the reinforcements, but then again, you're probably not going to proc it.
No, I don't think he's swinging. It looks like he's just passing. Yep, there you go. Thinking on his plays, I even know if you charge here, right? Like, how much more extra card or hand or 4 cards in energy? It looks like he does not.
It's all about the threats, right? Like, what is Marquis trying to line up here for the win? Is he? And I think it's just leader swings and chip damage, unison, probably. Like, so 3 energies probably just about all he really needs to get there.
Yeah.
Double strike swing with the Kai he has in hand. Like, it's not going to be through playing bombs.
Yeah.
It's going to be through grind, chip damage, hoping that he can survive Jordan's turn 4, and then like maybe getting the close out from there.
For sure. And choosing not to play the Trunks Unison as well is because I think there could be an argument where, especially, oh no, he can't use a double strike. If you charge an extra energy, he could have done a dual attack double strike onto the Unison and start putting pressure there. But looks like he's just content for drawing cards. Ooh. Does that? Do you just play that for 2? I thought you needed something with a Unison. Maybe I'm wrong.
You probably just played for 2?
I think you can. It's just with any card that gets out for cheaper in Unison Warrior, you're just like, do I have to need you to use that?
All right, let's look it up. Turtles.
Maybe as a spirit boost effect.
Turtles, all too easy. Auto when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and rest 1 KO and choose 1. It has an activate main for yellow if your card is a mono yellow Saiyan card and you have 3 more energy. So you just need to be at a Saiyan that at a certain cost.
Yeah.
And then you can either KO a rest mode or draw a card.
Yeah, if he wanted to put the pressure on, he definitely could have popped that Unison this turn, I think. So I'm surprised he didn't opt to do that. Between that card and the double strike in hand, it would have at least delayed him and made Jordan have to set up again. Now he just has all the tools he has again.
Yeah.
And also, I know he's been, Marquis has probably been digging for those Deborahs, but you need the 1 energy for them, right?
Yeah, you do still need to be able to actually pay them out.
And that's one of the big things with Sun Gohan. Now that Bojack is no longer in the game, like used to be able to make a big hand, and then Bojack is able to convert that hand into more energy.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we are on the Hallmark turn 4.
Mm-hmm.
This is the big turn for Cell, the one where usually the most explosive, rip out the most amount of cards.
Mm-hmm.
Not always closing out the game on turn 4, but putting yourself in a position where it's almost inevitable that your turn 5 is going to be finishing it up.
For sure. All right, so it looks like he's thinking to play the Dark Power Black Man Saiyan,
That's fine.
which could also be used to self-awaken him if he doesn't want that Soul Xeno effect. Which, once again, that Soul Xeno in hand can represent another 30k swing.
Yeah. Could also be me just trying to find things to do with his energy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right, we got the Rib. Rib 2. Ape is pretty good.
So if he does have Deborah and you have...
Oh, I see. I see. So...
What a... That's really silly.
Yeah, so Black Mass Saiyan has a proc that if your opponent plays a battle card on your turn with 50k power or less...
or just with a skill. It's just
with a skill. With a skill, yeah. But no, it has an energy. It has a power cost. So anything that's like above 20k, you're like fine.
Yeah, it's 15k or less with a
Yeah. Then you have to warp 2 cards from hand.
Mm-hmm.
So Deborah draws you 2 if you pitch him and then pay 1 to play him.
Yes.
So.
But then you have to discard the 2.
But then you discard the 2. But it's a cycle, I guess.
I mean, a 15k for 1 energy is still cost efficient.
Yeah, it's good value.
There is the Toa. So I think Markle is doing the same thing he did the last game, where he's setting up his drop really meticulously, so he can make sure to get what he needs there when he gets there.
Right.
And playing that Toa for 1, which I totally know, but just in case I don't, let me double check. I don't know it. It's too late. I know it's a 1 drop.
It's a Toa that puts a card from drop back to deck. So he plays it, and then he selected the Ape, and then sent the Ape back to deck as a counterplay, I believe.
When you play this card, draw 1, then shuffle up to 1 card in your opponent's drop pair into their deck. Okay, and it's a counterplay.
And it's a counterplay, yeah, that's what I thought. So basically preventing the draw Ape.
Yeah.
Which is really gross.
Yeah, that is very mean. And do you think he starts swinging to that Turtles? I mean, either way.
I mean, you might as well.
Yeah.
It's not like Dark Broly being rested or not matters. So you take a pot shot at it, and you're forcing another card out of Marquis' hand. Although for what it's worth, if Marquis, which he does have the reinforcements in hand.
Yeah. Yes, that is online now.
It's an extra card. I mean, yeah.
Oh, but he just pitched it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, using the Broly +2, that lets you, discard your rebrand, put in drop area again. If you want to make sure to get rid of that Turles, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's obviously the combos on board as well. I don't think. Oh yeah, and Jordan can also awaken this turn if he wants to, because he can swing a Black Mass Saiyan, and then I mean he can always awaken, but he can get down to 4 if he wants to.
Yeah, and make himself live.
Yeah, make himself live. Pop an additional card from hand as well.
But nope, Saiyan here, we're just good, I think.
We'll see.
I mean, I think you want to awaken. I don't think you want to tap out.
Yeah, but you can also make him go to 0 cards, right? But yeah, this looks like.
Yeah, okay. All right. Saying, you know what? I'm not too stressed about it. Looks like he has a super combo in hand. And
he got a
he
Deborah.
found the Deborah. Just got to deal with the one drop first.
For sure. And
So
he's got, look at, I don't think he's got good charge. He's got 2 yellow cards. He's got a super
one of which
combo.
is a super combo.
A Unison. A
That is
a
unfortunate.
Kai, and the, all of them are off felt.
Yeah, and that is so that's the way he's gonna be able to deal with the one drop. So
Yeah, so we'll have to find another way to get rid of that if he does want the card draw. Oh, no, spinning it back.
see.
Yeah, just pointing at the man like, oh wait, oh.
I think the super you have to.
Yeah.
I
And the
think
thing is, if you charge not yellow, then the super combo doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I kind of think you just have to. Like, it's like, hope you draw another super combo.
Yeah.
Because that Trunks is way too clutch in terms of board presence and applying pressure, right?
Yeah, but still, like, what are you doing? You're spending 4 energy to get rid of a 1-drop and, like, maybe put some pressure somewhere, but
Yeah, it's a dual attacker. I mean, it's a tough call.
I think so.
It also keeps your Deborah online.
I also think there was some, if you did the untap and draw effect too, there is some ability, being able to get rid of that basil is pretty big.
Yeah. So like here, he swings with the lead. He draws a card, takes a life, awakens, draws 2.
Yeah.
Then he plays the Trunks, gets rid of the 1-drop, and then if he's able to get a Deborah off, which he most likely would, sees an additional 2 cards.
Yeah.
Which, while that's still a lot of cards that he's probably going to lose out on Jordan's turn 5, gives him the opportunity to be able to pick and choose a little bit better and maybe save, like the double strike that he keeps trying to kid in hand to actually be able to close out the game.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to choose the Unison to swing into. Maybe. He's still thinking. It's tough because do you want to end... Are you going to be aggressive this turn, or...?
I think you swing at lead.
Yeah.
Like, I get why you wouldn't want to, but you need to put a clock somewhere.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a double strike on the way. Or a dual attack, I mean.
Yeah, so doubling his hand size feels pretty good.
It's not bad.
Is that where we get rid of Black Mass Saiyan? It does not have any of the... If he had a legendary Super Saiyan, that'd be great. Just rest it and be able to swing it with the basil. But...
Yep. All right, so we do see the Trunks come down and use his +0 to be able to deal with the BMS, and now Deborah's live.
And the High Dragons for drop too.
Swinging over with the basil. Not swinging with the basil, swinging with the basil. Using a little bit of hit time skip magic here.
Yep. And probably swinging at lead. Yeah, I don't know how afraid of double strike, to finish the game I would be if I was Jordan, right? I mean, you do have some combos. You can always emergency awaken, but does he have a yellow in hand?
I do believe I saw you.
Okay. Yes, he has exactly 1. Okay. Okay. It looks like he is going to go for the awakening. Once again, you normally want to do that on your own turn, just because you do get the extra, top 5 and mill 1, but I do not think it's a terrible decision on the defense, especially if you want to have the energy open to do the cells or the strength maybe. He does need to draw 2 cards though. Yeah, I've forgotten that several times. You're like, wait.
All right, coming away the Toa and sitting at a fresh hand of 5 with 2 energy up.
I mean, that's a good thing. Like, he's got a lot of dual attackers, which can be pretty good at stopping that. But yeah, at least 2 super combos in hand. He's got another Mass Saiyan. He's taking just the 1. I think that's fine.
He's got Earth Shattering, so he's got a decent amount of combo power at this point.
Yeah. I think he should have Earth Shattering. I don't know. It's hard to say. Oh, okay. He's still going. Okay. This one, maybe you do that. Just so you get more use of your energy, get more that hand.
So Marquis is definitely trying to set up his board so that, multiple attackers some of which aren't big, but if Jordan takes this,
Yeah, there it
let's see if he
is.
snipes the double strike again.
Oh man.
Let's see if he snipes the double strike again. What's the hit? Jordan Markle 2 times. Sniper. Hitting up. All right, we don't.
That's the best hit for Marquis, I think.
Definitely the best fit, because if Marquis is trying to close out game here with a double strike swing, some fancy, then that card's not gonna have a lot of utility.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely some argument to,
Oh.
you know, Jordan does have a lot of combo power in hand too. That just decide. You know what? I probably can't finish this game or this turn. Let's get rid of the unison a little bit more and go from there.
Interesting decision. I mean, right? Because the unison's still gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's another ribbon drop.
Yeah,
So,
so
if he uses the ability to sell to get rid of the board, like at minimum, we're seeing 4 cards gone from Marquis' hand here.
And the other thing too is that we're gonna have to see if, you know, Jordan Markles gets to read that. Okay, did he get DeBoer's in hand, or has he just been unlucky, or is it not run it? Because he does have, I think, another Saiyan in hand. So if he does that and then start making a discard, he can't use the DeBoer's.
Yeah, and I have to imagine it's the only reason he kept the 1 up.
Ooh, the
was-
Rose is an interesting charge. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
playing
there's the
card.
BMS, and that's basically saying your plus will not be a plus now, and he can get rid of. So let's see. There's the plus on the unison. That's 1 card. There's the rib. That's 3. You have the leader ability. That's a 4th, and then you have the DeBoer in hand, which makes it a 5th off the Broly ability. So 5 cards out of hand here.
And there are, I think, 6.
Yep.
And, you know, I think popping the higher dragon is definitely the pop you want. You can also just get rid of that unison too. You can pretty much clear the board. You can use the effects of the of everything to just pop everything. Yeah, so he's using that, using the effects to. Marquis gets to choose what card he loses.
Yep. And there goes the ape.
Yeah.
Slug.
Using it just to draw 1, not take any life.
Oh,
Another
Rosie.
That is changing it a little bit. The knowledge that he discarded. He can also do the Bora too for that additional discard too.
Yep. There we go. There's the additional card. Jordan not actually negging off of this, being able to get a ball.
So in hand is a what's the other guy? What's the green? Is it Goku, Gohan?
Two super combos, a ball. As far as Marquis goes, he's got the cooler.
And if I see a super combo in charge, to me that means that there are others in hand, which is why I made the choice so difficult. You know what I mean? Like knowing that, you know, it was so tough to have that.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so it's either make them discard 2 by paying 2 or 3. If you get the 3, you get 3 additional swings. Additionally, you know, if you make them go down to 0 cards, you can easily get rid of that unison and also probably clear up most of the rest of the board too. Yeah, so popping the higher dragon, which is great, which means that there's no additional card draw with the leader as well. Cooler.
Probably not super relevant here.
Yeah, using that to just get another card draw. So
The DeBoer here actually probably being the best hit, just because he can't use it, and you're taking away the opportunity for him to maybe be able to like plus his unison if it stays on board to get rid of it and then go from there.
Oh, Rosie.
Yeah, so 1 card in hand. Does he keep the double strike in hand to maybe be able to close out the game next turn?
Yeah, hard to say. So, okay. How does the sequencing work with threat? So if you've gotten 0 cards in hand, when do you draw the cards? Because there could be a situation where if he makes him discard it, he discards 1, but then he still gets to draw 2, and he goes.
So actually, he warps before. So if he drops DeBoer here, he loses the 1, draws 2.
Okay, yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, Black Masane's gonna proc. DeBoer procs. Active player first. Black Masane is going to force the warp 2. He's gonna warp the 1 card hand, so he will have no hand, but he will go up 1 card once everything's said and done.
Yeah, it's not a cost; it's a condition.
Yes.
I still think the play is to just get as many cards off that board as possible.
Mhm.
I think getting rid of that Trunks Unison will be really, really helpful.
Yeah, lots of decisions here. I mean, Marquis looking at the Black Mass and probably coming to the same idea.
Yeah.
And I think that's the decision factor. How much do I need this double strike card in my hand?
Yeah, and additionally, yeah, even though, how good are your next 2 drops, too,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, and is he gonna proc it?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm not supposed to know that.
All right. Yeah, so he warps the 1, and then he draws 2. But it goes to warp, though. So what's the 1-drop Sun Gohan?
All right, opting to go with the Debor here and finding a super combo as well as the Unison.
Yeah, and so that's also the Gohan that plays from drop as well if he gets this card from you. And okay, it didn't just pass. It's just okay.
Yep, just trying to figure out what the pitch is.
I definitely think you want to get rid of that Unison. I think that is on your priority list.
Three super combos and a ball in hand for Jordan, so
Yeah.
sitting very comfortably here.
Yep.
All right, Marquis going down to 3. Jordan here having extended as much as he can. I mean, he doesn't have gas in hand. He's got like gas in the form of protection, but nothing in form of like proactive plays. Wow, okay, he's gonna swing with the Black Mass Saiyan.
Yep. It's gonna take the 1/2 to make it a 15K.
Well, you know,
Ooh, he gets 1 more swing now too, because if this with that Xeno, that is such a good hit. So that's a 25K. And if he needs to get that 30K for that extra damage, he can
Yep.
just plop it down.
trying Jordan here deciding this is the turn that I think we're gonna try and close it.
Yep.
I think my hand's better than his hand.
I think he's got no time magics, which I think is pretty safe.
That's pretty fair. That's a
Yeah.
card we haven't seen in a hot minute.
We know, and none of the 2 cost too.
Yep, I think they're all pretty much gone at this point.
Yeah, we've seen so many discarded, and now Marquis is like, man, if I kept one, I'd feel a lot safer right now.
All right, we
Super
see
combo.
the super combo. So Marquis knowing that he can't really afford to go down to 2.
Another
Get another super
super
combo. Feels good to be good.
But do you use the super? I guess you have to bottom deck to use it
Let's see.
too.
We're sitting at a 25 versus 25, so it's
Yeah.
only 5K.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you get rid of the counter, which is fine.
Mhm.
I don't think Cell Surge is really running 1-cost counters.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. So let's see if Jordan wants to make the play. It is a big 30K.
well, the decision he has to make now is, am I in a position where I'm dying next turn?
Yeah. Exactly.
So like if he thinks he is, then the play is to commit to the Black Mass Saiyan, try and go for game. If not, then you just rest on your laurels now and hope that you can out advantage your opponents.
Yeah. I mean, Broly's also really good too, because this makes it. You know, if you go with the big Cell Xeno play and then go into it, it makes you. I mean, even though it's less cost efficient, big 30K can still finish the game.
That it can.
And big double strike can also finish the game.
So we do see Jordan going in with the double strike. 30K double strike.
Oh, it gets rid of it though.
Yeah, because if Marquis takes it, it's just 10K combo at that
Oh, he
point.
takes it too. All right.
Yeah, so now we're down to 1 life, and
Go for it. You should go for it. Yeah, go for it, big
all
boy.
right, here's the big chonker.
And
And
swings in.
he's got a super combo, you know.
Yeah. Oh, the
Oh,
cells.
the cells are shattering.
Oh, that is
Must be good to
disgusting.
be good.
All right.
All right, takes out the 5K. Not too bad here. I mean, we've seen crazier things. There's the super combo. There's the dupe, the draw.
There's the stream delay.
All right, and that
There we
is
go.
it.
Jordan Markle
Jordan Markle,
taking it.
3rd place at the 2021 North American Finals. What a phenomenal showing from our previous champ.
Winning himself another prize.
Yep.